Grand Rising, loved ones. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, your favorite spiritual advisor, Empress Oracle. So how are y'all doing? Good? Good. Today, guys, I want to talk about something that I don't even know if it's really gotten spoken about often, or I don't know, because, I don't keep up with what goes on in the streets. You feel me? It'd be too much shit. However, what I would like to talk to you guys about today is daddy issues in men. We always talk about daddy issues as far as females, and I really think it became a thing at a point in time to whenever a female got extra angry or disturbed, guys would just assume they had daddy issues, or if they decided they wanted to be a hoe, they had daddy issues and X, Y, and Z. However, I've never really heard anybody speak about the guys. What about the guys? You know what I'm saying? So what y'all got? Well, my keen observation through the years has noticed that, guys really don't talk about when they have issues with their fathers. I've noticed more the ones who do are fortunate enough to grow up in a household with their father. I have seen them talk about their father, and I have also seen guys who do not grow up in the household with their father. However, their father plays an active role in their life. I have seen guys like that mention them more. What I have also noticed is most of the guys, especially the ones that I have dated, or I have come across even in friendships, okay? What I have noticed is that the ones who grow up without a father figure or grow up without a father, I'm not even going to say a father figure, because a lot of them do have, grandfathers, uncles, and other men that step in to take that role. But what I have noticed is the ones who did not have, their flesh and blood father there, they, from what I have seen, grow up one extreme or the other. It's either they are smart enough and wise enough to realize the loss and what not having a father there, they realize the pain it caused to them and what it did to them. And so they become determined to, be the best man, best father that they can be. They learn from that experience. That's why you say, do unto others, how would it feel if it's done unto you? They didn't like the way it felt not having a father. So in turn, they decide to do the opposite. And I commend men like that. Thank you, King. Thank you. And then you have the other guys from the other side of the spectrum who they just never quite figure it out. Those guys are the ones that I like to say that they're caught. I call it Peter Pan syndrome. That's what I call it. They never want to grow up. It's like they're stuck in Peter Pan syndrome. Neverland. They never want to grow up. And they may have manly characteristics. They may have all the qualities that you see or you want for a good man, but they don't have that assertion that a man should have. Or if they don't, they try to replace it with what they think it is, which a lot of times men think they're acting like an alpha male, but really they're just being a narcissist. And there's a difference. But a lot of times they don't realize, nor do they care to hold themselves accountable, because there is also a lack of accountability that I have seen in men who do not grow up with a father in the home. You can be accountable for certain things, so it's easier for them to put the blame on others, or if they're in relationships, it's easier for them to put the blame on females because that's all they've been around. That's always who's taking care of them. That's always who's been accountable is the female. So they flip it on the female. However, for men, in my opinion, women, this is my opinion. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. That's fine. It could be your opinion as well. I personally feel like it takes a man to raise a man. You can have a son and you can teach him all the things. You can teach him to be like the perfect man that you wish you always had that you never had. However, the hammer that's going to drive the nail home is going to be, example, flesh and blood from a man. You can't do that. And a lot of times, single mothers bring these men around their children, their sons, So while you're sitting there and you're saying you're trying to raise a king, but you bring in Tom, Dick, Harry, Larry, and Moe around your son, what do you think your son is seeing? Huh? As if he already didn't have daddy issues because daddy was not there. But now, he know mama a hoe. He see men in and out the door. What kind of man do you think he's going to grow up to be, Queen? Children learn by example. Children learn by example. And that is why so many of our kings are confused and lost, and they suffer severely due to lack of accountability. They have no positive example of it. Okay? If daddy went to go get some milk from the corner store 12 years ago and never fucking came back, he damn sure is not holding himself accountable. If you keep bringing men in and out, and that's all he see, what is he gonna do? It's very, very, very important that as we raise these young kings, we teach them how to be accountable for themselves and their actions. That if we start teaching accountability to our children, that'll cut down on the crime rate immensely. Because sometimes people don't really understand that every action sparks a reaction. Or they don't realize the depth or the severity. Sometimes our men, they never really had a good example of how to really be a man. That's called daddy issues. If you never had an example of what a real man is in your home or around you, a real man, not what the fuck they depict on the TV, these hood niggas, big ballin', you know what I'm saying, dope boys and shit. That's not a real man. That is not a real man. I'm talking about the ones that'll stand up for their family, okay? They have their spouse, they have their children, they working hard, they're proud. They show their pride. They have pride in their family, pride in their parents, pride in their significant other. They uplift their queen regardless of race. They know their role as a man. They know their role as a man in a household. Because women have a role and men have a role, regardless of what the feminists and everybody else say. In this movie called Life, everybody has a role. You feel me? You just decide how you're going to write your movie. Are you going to write it with lack of accountability? Are you going to write in your script the clause, the daddy issue clause? Men, at a certain point in time in life, we have to hold ourselves accountable for our actions. I definitely could have been a statistic. I could have been one of those girls and grew up and they'd be like, oh yeah, she had daddy issues. My daddy ain't shit. Not for me. Never did shit. You know? But I did not let that stop me. I knew that I did not want to be one of those women. You weren't going to categorize me and say I was one of those females with daddy issues, because I don't. Alrighty? Unfortunately, there's times, I can use myself for example again for the men. How I learned not to have daddy issues was I told myself first and foremost, you can't miss something you never had. You cannot. Now, when you start thinking and dwelling on something that you never had with the intentions of sorrow and guilt, you're just making yourself miserable. You cannot miss something you never had. So why try? Why be sad because all the other kids with fathers is woe is me and shit? If that shit never fazed you, that shit never fazed me. I had father figure. You know, my dad came when he pleased to see me and shit. I was like, all right, fuck you too. Shit. Simple. Next. Move on. And that's just what we have to do, guys. Stop taking everything so personal. Stop taking everything to heart. Stop dwelling on the things of the past that you cannot control. Maybe you have these daddy issues for a reason. to hone in on those things. Maybe those are the areas that God felt like you needed to be stronger. And sometimes he makes people build up strength through lack. That's what we have to realize. So that's what I did. And I started realizing most of my friends that had dads was a hot ass mess anyway. I was like, whew, I'm good, and I just kept it moving from there. That's what we got to do. That's what we have to do. Fellas, it's never too late. Even if you never had an example of how to be, you always know in your mind how you want to be. If you don't have an example, find you a rabbit. Find somebody that you look up to. It doesn't matter. Put aside your pride, king. Pride is what's fucking men up, period. Period. I don't care what you say. Men, you have too much fucking pride, too much fucking ego, and that will be to your detriment while us women go ahead and fucking get the whole goddamn bag. All right? Put your pride to the side. Find somebody that you look up to. Whether it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter. Somebody who, when you look at them, you say, ooh, I wish I was like that. I like how they do that. How can I be better? Go to them. Inquire how. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, kings. Instead of fighting each other, you guys need to be helping each other overcome them goddamn daddy issues so that you can be better fathers yourself. Okay? That's how you break generational curses. Break those generational curses. Stop that cycle. Stop it. Cut it out. Y'all play too much. But anyway, I still love y'all. You guys are still my kings. And I will always uplift you all, okay? Regardless, kings, you're worth it. You are worth it. You are a king. The first step is to believe that. Second step is to get rid of those daddy issues. You can't miss something you never had. The third step is to be the best you so that you can be the best father to your children one day. And that's how you break the cycle. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Hopefully I'll see you guys later on my OnlyFans, where I'm going to start my sex talk. Okay? It's the numerous things I'll be doing on there. But tonight we're going to be going over the art of fellatio. And I hope to see you there, okay? Love you.